Welcome to the Program Assessment and Review Video Series. Lesson 1 will provide a general introduction and historical perspective of assessment in higher education. You may have found yourself wondering at some point, how did assessment become such a big focus? The truth is, assessment started with a small number of individuals long advocating a systematic approach to evaluating the success of an education program. These individuals wondered how the program could accurately evaluate its students' abilities and skills. In 1996, a group of assessment experts brought together by the American Association for Higher Education sought to answer that question. This group wrote 9 principles of good practice for assessing student learning. The last principle stating that through assessment, educators meet responsibilities to the students and the public. The Spellings Commission was formed in the fall of 2005 to study the future of higher education. The Commission's most notable recommendations was to increase the accountability of higher education institutions, specifically through the assessment of student learning outcomes. Assessment experts advocate that assessment should not occur because programs have to, but because they want to. So what can assessment do for a program? The University of Central Florida says assessment should be used to improve, to inform, to prove, and to support. Assessment is the process of investigating the program's influences on student performance so that informed decisions can be made to foster improvement. And no matter how good they all may be, all programs can improve. The goal of assessment is to determine where there are weaknesses in student learning and seek ways to advance. Assessment can take on many forms, including standardized tests, observations of student performance, evaluations of student work, and surveys. Assessments can be both standardized and homegrown, and ideally, assessments will ask students to demonstrate their knowledge and skills in a variety of ways. Just like any other field of study, assessment comes with its own set of vocabulary. Some of these words will be repeated often, and for the sake of clarity, they should be defined as a written list. These definitions, for us, are located on our SharePoint resource site. For the duration of this course, assessment will always refer to program-level assessment. If there is ever talk about other assessment types, like course level, that will be explicitly stated. Learning outcomes are statements of learning expectations. Some programs may choose the terms learning goals or learning objectives in place of learning outcomes. For the purpose of this course, these 3 terms mean the same thing. Sometimes these terms are defined differently by crediting bodies, but because there is not a set standard for how accreditors use the words outcomes, goals, and objectives, we will assume that they are all equal. This is the end of Lesson 1. In the next lesson, we will take a closer look at the process of curriculum mapping.